Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we're looking at player props on a Tuesday night here, Nate. Pretty small slate, just 4 games to choose from, but I still think we feel like we can maintain our heater as we remain about 3-1 on an average this year so far each and every night with these player props. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. You can continue to follow along with us. You can also check out the 2 game videos we bring you each and every weekday of this regular season along with these player props. And we also want you to head to thelines.com. That's where Nate puts up these props each and every weekday. Also has great written content on there for all the NBA games going on. Also have our great odds finder tool on there that you can go ahead and use. Those are embedded in Nate's articles. Also on the site, that the odds finder tool can be used to go ahead and make sure you're getting the best juice on all your bets across the NBA and across those sports books available to you guys. Nate, let's go ahead and get into your props here on this little 4-game slate Tuesday night.
Yeah, I remember early in the season when people were like, under 9.5 points for Ben Simmons. That's free money. That is absolutely, like, hammer that every single night. Well, now it looks like over 10.5 points and over 11.5 rebounds, assists might be free money for Simmons, who might finally have his confidence back. I mean, they've probably been in his ear all season, just being like, hey, just run to the rim, try to finish. If they cut you off, kick it out. Like, you can do that. That's what you've been doing for years. That's how you were an all-pro. So in his last 2, he's averaging 18.5, 10.5 boards, and 6 assists, shooting 89% from the floor. Played well enough to move into the starting lineup in their last game when he had 22, and Kyrie didn't do much in his return, but opens up the floor a little bit more for Simmons to just play that slasher role. The Nets are getting more comfortable playing around KD, the always candid KD, who called out the rest of his teammates by name, and then apparently it worked because whatever he said behind closed doors, in addition to that, kind of inspired them, it seems like, to play their role, to be aggressive. Royce O'Neal playing out of his mind, Utah Watanabe too, and Simmons, who yeah, like I said, his props are just really juicy right now. They're close to even money for those very low totals. He's plus 480 to get a double-double at FanDuel, which he did in his last game. 8 rebounds in a win gets you plus 250. We don't think there's any way Brooklyn loses this game without Joel Embiid, because I guess I buried the lead there. There's no rim protector for the Sixers. The fact they already allow more paint points and a high percentage of points off twos at home. And I think their defense is very, very dependent on Joel Embiid scaring shots, blocking shots, and protecting the rim. So I think Simmons gets some revenge on his former team here tonight, and I'm betting on it.
I love it. Yeah, I'm going to follow you on that for sure with Simmons tonight. There's a couple other things going on for him as he's put up in the last 3, 16 points a game, 9 boards and 5 assists. That has been the sort of the emergence and the implementation of Seth Curry, Joe Harris, and Watanabe, who you mentioned. All 3 of those guys being in the lineup is huge for Ben Simmons, because you have to have shooting around him. KD, Kyrie, and then at least one other shooter on the floor, and Ben Simmons. Royce O'Neal has done the job for them as well down low enough. So, I like where this team is headed. I like the direction of it for them, especially because they've come so low that we've sort of readjusted our expectations. And I think Simmons at 10.5 points, that'll get adjusted up to the 15.5 that he's averaging in the last 3 to 4 games versus still assuming this is the guy that is not even going to shoot from inside 5 feet. He's shooting 89%. And just as importantly, as you mentioned, the amount of shots that he's taking, at least he's gotten that field goal attempts up to about 9 or 10 a game, as opposed to like 4, right? Which is when you feel great about taking under 10 points for him. So I'm going to go over on another guy here, Nate, who is just continuing to be one of the best point guards in the league this year, De'Aaron Fox. 25.5 points for him in the Kangs, riding that 6-game win streak. I'm going over 26.5. That's minus 105 on FanDuel. I love that it's pretty much even money in a game that I know you love points. I like points, and I like the Kings a lot. The last time he's played Memphis, De'Aaron, just throwing a few things at you, 27 points versus them earlier in the season. It was 125 to 110 home loss for the Kangs. Hadn't really found themselves yet. I think we can expect a little bit more from them tonight. On the season, he's at about what his prop is tonight, 25.5 on 56, 38 splits, which I really like. The 5 3-point attempts that he's shooting a game and hitting 2 of them is huge for this team. His 30% usage rate and the number 1 clutch point guard, right? Best clutch numbers in the league for any point guard right now. His last 3 on the road where they're playing, which I feel really good about, 32.5 points a game on a 30.7% usage rate. That was against teams that, are a bit bigger too, that teams that can, that are going to be rolling out some big guys, which probably is going to be the case for the Grizzlies tonight, playing, Conchar, rolling him out at like basically the 2, standing at like 6'9". So similar sort of style to like LA, the Lakers, Orlando, and the way that they play with those big guys. I think you can expect Fox to be able to get into the lane and get his tonight. And like I said, it's the road numbers for Fox that make me feel pretty good about his ability to carry them a little bit more on offense in the points column, especially since last season, 26 points per game on the road versus 22 at home. That usage rate, as we mentioned, goes up. They rely on him like 30.3% on the road since last season for Fox. So this is a good situation for him to continue to put up some points against Tyus Jones and the sort of depleted Memphis Grizzlies right now.
Yeah, and Tyus Jones is a very good floor general, capable point guard, but he's not the same athlete as John Morant at all. And I mean, nobody's stopping Fox from getting in the lane right now. He's having an absolute career year, probably going to make his first All-Star team for sure, if not an All-NBA team at this point. And yeah, the road splits are pretty notable here as they try to keep pace with Memphis, which always plays well at home. So I think we're going to have a close game, and he's the number 1 clutch scorer. So great pick there. This one seems like a little bit sharp. Maybe I'm getting out of my boots here, ahead of my skis, if you will. But Payne, under 28.5 points, rebounds, assists. I mean, he's been putting up some huge lines at times with Chris Paul out, cruising past this total. But Devin Booker went off when they were at Utah in a game that totaled 277, and Payne had 17 points, 5 assists, 0 rebounds. He's kind of in that Chris Paul role, right? He's just supposed to be a 1-for-1 replacement. And sometimes CP3, when the Suns have it in hand, he just brings the ball up, and when Book is cooking, he just gives the ball to Book. Book had like a 39% usage rate in that Utah game. He has lit up the Lakers recently. The last time Cam started for CP3, they beat the Lakers by 30, and Cam had 9 points, 11 assists, 4 rebounds on a 17% usage rate. When CP3 was in that role, again, they beat the Lakers pretty handily. CP had a 13% usage rate. The previous one, a 15% usage rate, 11, 3, and 9. I think the Suns point guard just isn't going to have to do that much in this game with the Suns up, 7.5 point favorites, with Booker and Bridges playing great ball, and the Lakers, not necessarily being a team to bank on forcing a close game down the stretch, especially with LeBron out.
Yeah, don't sleep on Austin Reeves though. But no, for real, I love the theory. I love the research. I love the due diligence here to find out why it is that you feel Payne's going under. It's this situation, and this is a somewhat specific situation, but you've got some extrapolated info there in terms of it's the point guard against the Lakers for the Suns that doesn't seem to need to do a whole heck of a lot, especially when Book seems to love playing, right around his hometown in LA, like bringing it against the Lakers, to your point, and definitely it continues to bring it all season long this year. Book, definitely making a case for an All-NBA team this year, at least second so far this season. I think he really is trying to take that next step, and he'll continue to get his with that usage rate at about like 35% against the Lakers. I think they all know we're playing his hometown team, feed Book, basically. So, yeah, I think that doesn't bode quite as well for Payne, who I did pick up in fantasy, but that's only because everybody on my team's hurt. So, finishing things off here with our 4th prop, Jaden Ivey. We've talked about the Pistons, and we've gone after them with Cade out, right? And that's the key, again, tonight for Cade, going to be out in this one against the Nuggets, who will also be without Joker. So, Jaden Ivey and Bogey both bringing it for the Pistons. Jaden Ivey looking really, really good right now. 18.5 points at -108 on FanDuel. You could throw the assists in there as well. He's been averaging about 5 assists a game over his last 5. It's about 5 for him. So if you want 23.5 points and assists, I might just consider the points here. Like I said, without Cade, 21.5 a game, 5 assists, 4 boards, right? without Cade in general, his points per game go up from 15 to 19. In the last 5, it's gone all the way up to 21.2. I think that's a little bit more where you can see him. I think they've realized he and Bogey need to score 20 to 25 points each for them to continue to sort of hang with teams on offense, as they did with the Kings recently, at least on offense, and covered there. Nuggets are not great on defense right now. They already allow the best, if you will, assist to turnover ratio to their opponents. They're 30th in terms of their opponents' 2-point percentage, giving up 58% from the field from 2-pointers, good for dead last in the NBA. They allow the 5th most points in the paint as well. Jaden Ivey doing plenty of his work sort of from the point guard position, trying to slash and get in there as well. And they allow the most points, the 10th most points per game to point guards, do the Nuggets, 4th most assists. So, you can expect the stats to be coming for Ivey tonight. Like I said, I'm not scared of the points and assists, but at minus 108 for the points at 18.5, I'll probably stick with that. But you can expect him to get a bunch of dimes in this game as well.
DeAndre Jordan is so bad, man. I can't believe that he's going to be starting for this team. There was that. Oh my God. He did have a nice 17 rebound game with 15 defensive rebounds in a absolute slugfest with the Mavs in their last game without Jokic, but that was a 1-point game. The Nuggets, I don't think, are going to be blowing anybody out, and they're particularly bad against point guards. So, yeah, Ivey should be getting all the work, that huge usage rate spike, and he should be scoring in this matchup.
For sure. Feel good about that one. You can also check out some Bogey Bogdanovich stats as well. There's some Bojan, excuse me. I always mess up the Bojan and Bogey thing. Bojan is on the Pistons. Consider his props as well. Sorry, Bogey. That is all the time we have for you in this one, Nate. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along. We'll look to be staying about 3-1 on these props each and every night for you guys. So until we see you next, happy betting.